Hello beautiful souls, it's Karen here at Star Child Tarot, and today I was guided to do a video about dating apps. So I'm going to start maybe doing a few mini videos about dating. I've got a lot of experience with dating myself, and I know a lot of us are going through this right now. So I wanted to talk about dating apps, good or bad. So first of all, I want to give you a bit of background about me. So I wanted to share a bit about me. So when I was first single after my first divorce, which was in the late 90s, early 2000s, we didn't have the apps that we have today. So you can see in the 20 years how much has changed in the dating world, and obviously it's an ongoing thing. There was online dating, but there were these online sites and you got matched by the company. You applied, you filled out your forms, they asked you lots of different questions, which some of the apps still do that, about your interests, etc. And then they would send you a list of names and their phone numbers of who you got matched with. And I actually met both my husbands this way from the same site. It was called Dateline, if anyone else remembers that one. That was called Dateline. And I met my first husband on there back in 1984. So that had been around a long time. And then it was still around when I met my second husband in 2006. And I met them both that way. My second husband actually lived out of my area, but because I didn't realise that he was in a different area, I lived in Kent and he lived in Essex. I actually matched with him. We got on really well, and we spoke on the phone for a couple of weeks because it was phone calls back then before we actually met, and we just got on really well. And he did put in a lot of effort at the beginning of the connection. Okay, so that's obviously why I married him. Yeah, so one of my marriages lasted 13 years and one 10 years. So, I mean, it did work. I did meet a partner that way. Obviously, it didn't last, but I think these days in the world today, a lot of relationships do not last. Some don't even last that long. I know that. And also, the other way we used to meet people was in the local papers. Your local newspaper, you could put an advert about yourself, and there were voice mailboxes, and the people that liked your message could leave your voice message. And I always went very much on a voice. A voice to me says a lot about a person. So I would listen to the voice messages, and sometimes there was lots of voice messages to get through, and the voice was very important. So again, for me, that was a really good thing to hear a voice. And I met a few people that way, and one I dated for 7 months. So again, I had a fairly long relationship out of that situation. So fast forward 7 years to 7 years ago, my second marriage ended. And the dating scene had changed very much in that time since I've been away. So there were more dating sites and all slightly different. And I joined a lot of them at the time. And a couple of these, I'm not going to mention names in case I get into trouble with YouTube, but they were absolutely useless. I didn't meet anybody, and they are ones that really sell themselves at selling relationships, and they were no good at all. So I can't say, but I wouldn't recommend those. The best ones for me were the ones where you could see when people were online or when they'd last been online. And the best one for me was POF. I know it gets a lot of stick, but the people on there were actually proactive. I met a lot of people were up for dating, because at the end of the day, if you want to meet somebody, to have a relationship with, you need to actually meet them in real life. I will never change my opinion on that. Virtual relationships do not do it for me. I prefer something in the real world. And again, you can see who was online, and you could meet people even if you weren't a member. You could message people if you weren't a member. But I did join that because the advantage of that was you could see who'd read your message. because when you're not a member, you can't see if they've read your message. But obviously, if they've not replied, you know that they've moved on. So I was very proactive on that site. I didn't wait for people to contact me. I contacted people, and you want to resonate with somebody. You want somebody who's got a bit of conversation. I find these days there is such a lack of conversation. People just say a hi, or you get into a conversation and you're asking all the questions and nobody answers, or they just answer the question and they don't ask you anything. There is no backwards and forwards. Imagine if you were in a bar, you met someone in a bar and you were just talking to them and they just answered your questions and they never asked you anything. It shows a complete lack of interest to me. And where do you go from there? So a lot of people you cannot really connect with or interact with, I feel. It was much better then, but they've changed it. They've changed that site now. And I think it was when Tinder came in, that all the swiping business started. I may be wrong about that. I do not like this. I don't know how you feel about it. You can get so caught up in it that I have swiped left on the wrong people, like the people I liked, I've swiped left and you never see them again, or you swipe right on someone you're not interested in and then they contact you, and it's to me, it's like fast food, isn't it, for dating. I don't know if any of you check out the profile before you even swipe. Some of them you can. I do try and check out the profile because you may like the way they look, but again, they may put people in your, vicinity that are not in your area. They don't meet your criteria, because a lot of the sites, I think they just put anybody up there, to be honest. For me, looks are important, and I've experimented with this, so I know for me it is. Because I tried not to judge a book by its cover, so I did date some people that I wasn't initially attracted to see if anything would develop from there, but unfortunately it didn't. So it has to be the package. It's got to be somebody you're attracted to initially and the personality to match. So it might sound fickle, but we all have different likes, don't we? And we all find different things attractive. So for me, looks are important, okay? Another thing that's important for me, and obviously we've all got our own different criteria, is non-smoking. Again, I dated a smoker for 4 years. I didn't like it. He did try and give up. He did quit a few times. Not that I made him quit, because it's down to the person. I would never make anyone try and do that. But it's horrible kissing someone that smokes, and I don't want to be around that smoke, toxicity, really. So they may be a good person, but it's a no for me, and I'm not one of those people that would dictate to somebody, you must do this or you must do that, and until they're ready to do it for themselves. I mean, one of my sons smokes and I don't like it, and he knows I don't like it, but he can't quit. So what do you do? Another thing that's important for me is distance. I've tried the long distance thing again. Accidentally got talking to someone who lived in Liverpool in the UK, and I live in Kent, and we're at opposite ends of the UK. He promised, we continued talking because we did connect, and we spoke on the phone every week, and he promised he would visit me, and we chatted for 4 months, which was a waste of time because he never did visit me, and my intuition told me that he wouldn't as well, but I chose to believe him, and maybe he meant it at the time, but it didn't happen. Okay, so long distance relationships can be difficult, and virtual relationships is not what I want. It's not a real relationship to me until you meet somebody in the real world. And look at all these scammers out there that catch people out with fantasies. Until you meet somebody for real, it's not the same. So getting back to the swiping thing, when I first joined POF, they used to have pictures up of people who were online in your area, but now it's a swiping thing again, and I've actually not using that app at the moment because, again, they've gone into that matching thing. So unless you match, you cannot message anyone even. So that's a no-no. Whereas before you could message anyone and it worked much better for me. The swiping thing, you can swipe all day and night and not get a match. It's just ridiculous. And my eldest son is dating at the moment as well. And we've come to the conclusion, and you probably see that as well, that the dating apps, they're not there to help you find anyone. They don't want you to find someone because they want you to be a member. They want you to pay for the membership as long as you can. Why would they want you to meet somebody and come off that app? They want people on that app. Okay. I mean, years ago, I do think people did meet their partners. I mean, and I might be wrong. Some of you out there may have met a partner that way, and I hope, if you have, I'd love to know. I feel it's getting more difficult. These apps, they're not cheap, and if you've got several apps on your phone, who can afford that these days? And, they try and tempt us in, don't they? They tease you. On the apps, they say, oh, these people have liked you. They put people in a box, in a like box somewhere, and the photos are blurry, so you can't see if you even fancy these people, and you can't message them. So Match is particularly bad, I feel, for that. Again, they want you to sign up to join, because unless you are a member, you can't message, they can't message you. So you can like till you're blue in the face, but you may not even get to even talk to anybody on there. So I'm not very impressed with that, to be honest. On Bumble, you used to be able to do daily memberships, and I did that once because I had some likes. And Bumble is the one where the women can reach out, but only if somebody's liked you in the first place. And when I did this, it was a dead loss. It was a couple of quid, so I did it. And the people in my a couple of dozen, only two actually fitted in the area I live in. And so I messaged them, and there was no reply, because on there you don't know how long ago they liked you. I don't know how long ago they liked me. There's no date to say when they liked you, so they could have come off the site or met somebody else. So what is the answer? So maybe if you can afford to use an app as a member, if you can afford to, but I think we all need to be clear about what it is we're looking for, and to be flexible around it as well. So have some flexibility. With my experience and my son's experience, we're in different age groups. We're in different age groups, obviously and he's looking for women, I'm looking for men. And a lot of people don't seem to know what they want. And I think, that's half the trouble. People don't know what they want. And it is confusing, but I think we need to look inside ourselves. What is it you truly want for yourself? What are you looking for at this time? Are you looking for just casual? Are you looking for a hookup? Or do you want something more meaningful? And just because, I've said it's difficult doesn't mean it can't happen. You have to believe, you have to trust that the right person will find you, however that is. Also, there's a lot of people that lie. Obviously, there's people on there that are not truly available. They're already in relationships and they're just looking for a bit on the side. And that's their choice. But what I have a problem with is the lie, the lying about it. Just be honest, because there are people that maybe will go for that, okay, that are into that, okay? Be honest. And it is about us all being authentic, be authentic, be your authentic self. Because how can you match with somebody if you're not being your authentic self? At the end of the day, be honest with yourself. It's like any manifestation that we're trying to bring into our life. It's being clear on what you want and to be authentic in your energy. It's, having those intentions, setting those intentions with your words, thoughts, deeds, and following it through with action. So just a few thoughts. I just wanted to share a few thoughts today. These are my opinions and my experiences. Obviously, take it or leave it. It's my personal experience. But I would love to know your thoughts, your experiences. And if you'd like me to do more of these, I would love to. My thoughts. So let me know down below in the comments. And I hope that there are some people out there that have had some really good experiences. I would love to know that. If you did meet your partner on a site, you know, let me know which one. So I'm going to leave it there. Sending you love and blessings. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. If you want to win a free reading, leave the word subscribe, like, and leave the word spirit down below to have a chance to win a reading. Sending you love and blessings. Take care.